sponsored by Scotiabank. Thank you to our judges, Susan Lee, Gart Bishop, Gert Likes, Laura Miller, Matthew Arnold, and Raymond Savage. Competitors will have a maximum 20 minutes to present. Immediately following the presentation, judges will be asking you questions within 5 minutes. The volunteer time keepers for myself, I will be giving you 10 cues from over there. No questions, comments, cell phones, or picture taking will be permitted from the audience at any time. The audience is banned from any material that bears the name or symbol of a competing university. We ask the audience exit the room immediately following the question and answer period. The timer is ready for you. You guys can begin the period.
Let's think of it this way. A typical GPS system tells you 2 things. 1, where you're going to start, and 2, a pathway of where you're going to end up. If it turns out that you've rerouted and went in a different direction, your GPS system will reroute you to another optimal place to go. What your GPS doesn't tell you, though, is once you reach that destination, where do you go from there? The fact is, Mr. McCabe, today, the world is changing. In the smartphone space and the wearable technology space, there's been trends really making your navigation technologies obsolete. And so what do you do in that environment where you're facing so much competition from Fitbit, Google, from all these different companies? How do you actually manage these roadblocks and get over these crossroads for really long-term profitability in the future? Well, my name is Sam. With my colleagues Max and Talis, we are so excited to be here today to not only craft you a short-term growth strategy of how to optimize your operations over all your different continents right now, but to also give you long-run sustainability so that once you look into the future, you don't have to be trapped in the ditch and not know where to go. This is how we're going to do it.
We're here today to present you with a recommendation that will help you not only achieve long-term sustainability, but to figure out what to do from here on. Before we go into that, I want to go over some of the key issues that are facing your company today. The first is on an industry-wide scale. We see that there have been some trends occurring recently that push the industry in a different area. Secondly, also on a competition
is the right path for your company moving ahead. These are some of the decision criteria that we'll be using to evaluate which path is the right path for your company. First one is financial feasibility, as measured by the change in your gross margin. Second, we'll be looking at product quality to make sure that no sacrifices are made in that area. That will be measured by the percentage defect rate. Lastly, we'll be taking a look at the degree of coordination. Being in the high-tech industry, operating from multiple continents, it's absolutely critical that your company maintains composure and strong coordination, and that will be measured by the time. So here are the options we offer for your company. The first one is, of course, to outsource manufacturing as per your recommendation. Well, we believe that this is actually a pretty strong recommendation in the short run, as it will provide you with an NPV of $21.5 million. We believe that it will actually make it very difficult for your company to maintain the high quality of your products. And moreover, it will actually make it even more difficult for you to coordinate all your operations, as all of your manufacturing will now be under somebody else's hood. Next, we've taken a look at what would it take to take all of your manufacturing and all your operations and bring them back to the US. Of course, while that improves product quality as product manufacturing is now within your control, it also makes coordination better. However, the high labor costs make it infeasible financially, as portrayed by the -$6 million NPV. Which brings us to our last alternative. What if you can set up regional offices that would handle design and the engineering functions of your company, having one in North America, one in Asia, and one in Europe. That way, your offices are close to market, they know the consumers, and they're able to craft products that directly address the needs of that market. However, we want to make sure that your manufacturing costs remain low, and that's why manufacturing will be centralized in Taiwan. We believe this is the most feasible alternative for your company moving ahead, and that's the one we're proud to recommend.
So think of it this way, before we can dive into what this recommendation looks like. The fact is, your management team needs a centralized, holistic strategy moving forward because of all these threats happening. The fact is, staying status quo or outsourcing and removing your entire advantage over what you do best is not the right way to go. That's why we split our recommendation into two different phases, and that's what we'll break it down really shortly.
So as both my colleagues have previously mentioned, it's critical that we address the urgent, immediate operational needs. So do we outsource? And if so, how do we do it? But secondly, as I previously mentioned, your company is under attack. And if nothing changes with regards to your business model, you will go out of business. And that's why we're happy to present the second part of our recommendation, which will ensure that you remain profitable in the years to come. So what we'll be looking at specifically is number one, what does it take to open up another manufacturing facility in Taiwan to make up for the two closed manufacturing facilities in the US, as well as what would it take to actually open up those regional offices that can handle local design and engineering that we previously discussed. Secondly, we're going to take a look at your product portfolio. You currently operate in 4 to 5 segments, depending on the region, and we want to make sure that all of those segments are exactly aligned with what your consumers need. So we'll be actually evaluating the consumer products category and the car navigation category, as we believe that those two are most prone to attack. So without any further ado, this is the project that we have proposed for you today. And right now, what we have is 2 manufacturing facilities in the US, with 1 office in the US, 1 regional office in Europe, and then 3 manufacturing facilities in Asia. What we're proposing today is that you actually take those 2 manufacturing facilities from the US and add an extra manufacturing facility in China to keep that labor cost low. What we're also proposing is that you add a regional office in Taiwan. Now, this is particularly important because the offices that you have set up in North America and Europe and the new office in Taiwan will act as gateways to those specific markets. So we want your regional offices to be once again able to tune in with what it is that the consumers are looking for, be able to pick up those local needs, and most importantly, craft products that will address those needs. And with that, we are happy to present the hub and spoke model. And of course, once again, to keep the labor costs low, we'll be centralizing all of the manufacturing in Taiwan. Next, we also hope to reposition some of your product categories and segments to make sure that they survive the attack that we talked about. So, with regards to your position, right now you're perceived as a company that's highly functional, but also under attack from Apple and Fitbit that make wearables that are much more sexy and appeal to consumers in a slightly different way. So ultimately, what we're trying to do is to own the functionality. Your devices have the most accurate on the market. So why not leverage that and make it your own? So what we're suggesting today is that Garmin actually makes wearable devices that offer superior tracking capabilities unlike Fitbit or Apple, which are more design-centric. Now, what this means is that we'll be going after the consumers who are high-intensity athletes or people that go on very long hikes and typically want to track every single one of their steps. They want to know their location with high and extreme precision. And so with that in mind, we're actually hoping to move you from one segment of the positioning map to the one that actually is close to functionality as opposed to design. So secondly, what we also hope to discuss is your car business. Now, right now, what you're selling are standalone navigation devices for cars. Those are, of course, leading the market as smartphones are coming in. And what we're proposing today is that you actually take a look at the B2B focus. What if you could sell your superior software, your navigation system, directly to the car manufacturers and embed that system within the car manufacturing process? That way, you're eliminating the need for the consumer to actually use a smartphone while they drive. And, of course, you're offering those manufacturing companies navigation capabilities of superior quality. So once again, we're emphasizing that B2B focus. And the way we hope to approach this is through a licensing fee. So once again, we believe that charging approximately $100 on a per unit basis will give you that cash boost that you need in the short run. And of course, position you for long-term success financially as well. And then the last point that I'll bring your attention to in this part of the presentation is adding a continuous value, whether that be through software updates, traffic patterns, and alternate routes that enable car drivers to, of course, get to point B from point A in the fastest way possible, and so on and so forth. So overall, to quickly recap, what we discussed today is really taking a look at your car segment and going from B2C to B2B, as well as looking at your consumer wearables technology and really owning that, high accuracy, high navigation functionality capability.
So there's a lot of moving parts in this recommendation. So how exactly do you look at implementing this moving forward, and what does this actually mean for your timing and execution moving forward? And so looking at this, the first thing we want to look at is segmenting those headquarters regionally. The fact is, we're taking what you have in the US, opening up another plant in Taiwan, and then looking at seeing those regional head offices that will take care of design and admin tasks. We split it up between three different kind of phases. The first one's actually looking at the hub and spoke model, the manufacturing and design. What this actually looks at is rerouting all communication regarding production and quotas all the way to the Taiwan area, and then looking at a half-year check-in point with all the different spokes that you have at your design centers across the world. What this does is it helps you coordinate all your activities and helps you centralize design in a way where you're leveraging synergies based on. And lastly, having an initial feedback survey for all the employees that will be moved either offshore or different places with the hiring process we're going to discuss in a few slides. Second thing is actually redefining the organizational structure that you have in place. The fact is, once you have these offices set up, you want to make sure that in terms of the tiered system of who's doing what and which roles are accountable, that you have kind of three main tiers of either design managers, engineers, as well as cultural experts. This is going to help you really optimize the way that you run your operations in a way where currently you're not doing that right now. And lastly, setting a quality management system. This is simply just looking at how do you manage your KPIs moving forward, setting different targets for your engineers or your designers, putting that forward in the production process and seeing how that flows throughout. And at the end of the day, setting up this whole ecosystem of operations will enable your firm to achieve accuracy, reliability, and quality as we would like. Looking at this cultural management dashboard that we've developed, what this means is because you're operating in so many different continents with a heavy emphasis on Taiwan, you want to make sure that everything is coordinated very properly. And so some coordinated mechanisms that you can take in place right now would be tailored performance management. Seeing the fact that in Taiwan, a lot of these employees, one, do not take direct feedback and are incentivized more by monetary schemes, can be used to tailor your performance management in a way that optimizes your operations. Secondly, cultural awareness training. The fact that you're operating in so many different countries right now is essential for you to generate profitability. And again, having a product portal where new design can be looked over by a lot of different competitive factories and times across your operation base and seeing what it says there. The feedback transitions between two different steps, production and the marketing. we want you to focus short-term on the operational refinement, but long-term on how to make it so that the after-sales service you provide to your customers stays core to your business, and how you can initiate either branding campaigns or cultural kind of surveys to really implement that moving forward as well. Looking at the operational timeline, the key step in this process, look at the planning phase. In this planning phase, one very important is the phase out of your plants in the US area and how you actually set up the plants in your Taiwan area. And so the beginning part really looks at having a 4 to 5 month process of making sure that you sell the plant, you make sure that if there are layoffs necessary for your employees, you coordinate severance packages, and you allow this plant in the US to be recapitalized into any assets that can be taken over the Taiwan area. Once you've gone that process to figure it out, you can set up a factory in the Taiwan space and look at what that return will get. For discounted cash flow analysis, the ROI on setting up this one new plant that covers your marine and aviation product lines is 122%. And with this, you can look at human capital requirements needed. So hiring and staffing are really important, especially in the Taiwan area, looking to ensure that you offer sweeteners in order to really get this through. On the execution phase, after the opening and closing of the offices, you'll be able to implement these product changes that we're recommending. So taking a look at your existing lines, seeing where the product potential lies, and then pushing that forward is essential. And we want you to keep that along with that. Looking at the cost and benefits, over time and as an incremental basis, we see an implementation cost total of $43.8 million. To be frank, your cash balance is about $850 million, so you have a lot of room to actually negotiate, especially with your firm being very capital-wise. But the fact is, we want to draw our attention to the raw benefits you're going to get by looking towards this new reorganization. The gross margins will increase about 31.6% through our analysis, as well as with the target defect rate and lead time, we're hoping to reduce both those metrics to about 2% and 75% of the original. And so this is a massive opportunity, not for you, not only to optimize your operations, but stay competitive in the marketplace when all these big threats are coming in right now. Of course, with any strategy, we do see some risks of implementation that we want to outline here today. The first one is actually dissatisfaction of U.S. stakeholders. Once you take those U.S. plants, deconstruct that, and move that towards Taiwan. We know that a lot of this process is people heavy, but we see this risk as being small probability and impact as being rather moderate. And the reason why is because we want your company to communicate the benefits and severity of this opportunity at hand. What this will do to your management team, board of directors, and your employees is that they're going to get a better understanding of the future direction of your company. If this doesn't work, then you want to award retention packages and kind of merit-based incentives in order to really align your current employees with what they're going to be offering in the Taiwan space. Lastly, the hub-and-spoke model might be difficult or complex to really coordinate and manage moving forward. And so what we want to do right now is look at maximizing the current presence you already have in Taiwan. Learning curve is great. The fact is you have know-how and expertise in order to easily set up that at low cost. So Taiwan can be that hub for you moving forward as well. And so at the end of the day, we want you to take that planning perspective and see to innovate your operations in different ways. Whether that be through tackling the issues of international expansion and tackling the issues of a very high competitive presence overall in the market, by taking a different approach of not outsourcing, taking used operations, and consolidating that within the centralized Taiwan area, you can not only increase your gross margin by over 30%, but enable efficiencies to be achieved towards long-term sustainability. And at that point, then your GPS systems can not only tell you where you were before, where you're going to go now, but it's going to tell you the maps and routes towards future prosperity that will never been possible otherwise. Thank you so much.
Just for clarification, you've spoken on
have more of an iterative process of getting customer validation from all these different types of local players, getting more punch or potential for you to capture each market separately. And then at that point, you can segment and target specifically which products best fit in these regional areas and say, I want to focus my market efforts here, I want to focus my R&D cycles here and here. And so it gives you a better focused view instead of, right now, all margins and all gross margins across your segments are kind of falling. And so the best way to do that is revitalize it from a cultural standpoint as well.
But there's no number figure to invest in R&D for product.
So in terms of cost, you mean?
Yeah.
Right, so most of the costs are outlined on the operational front, and we realize that your R&D ratio right now is about 23% of sales. That can easily go up to about 40, 50 if necessary. But the fact is, short term, operations focused. Long term, with our hub-and-spoke strategy, we can focus more on innovating R&D, and with that higher potential payoff already of the 122% ROI for the factory, you have a lot of free cash flow to invest in market initiatives.
So when you started the presentation, there was a history diagram that you used, that navigation is not just completely from one point
Right.
to another. What do you do after you reach the destination? Was that considered into your product portfolio thinking at all?
Yeah, exactly. So that tagline, I think, really represents the crux of your entire strategy. Because at a point where you're innovating products, you're seeing what the market desires, the next step